Well, hello everyone. I'm very excited to have Pam, my good friend Pam from Lofton Wells Insurance here. And Pam just graduated, Pam's team just graduated our AppX Retention 6-month program. So Pam, would you like to tell everybody a little bit about your agency?
Oh, sure, it would be my pleasure. I am a second generation nationwide agent, and we have about 11 employees. And we are going through the lovely transition of going from exclusive into independence. Can't wait.
I know, and I feel like you guys have been very prepared for it. You guys did a lot of work leading up to it to kind of take that transition. So, knowing that your team has now completed the 6-month program of
Uh-huh.
getting proactive and making renewal review calls, could you tell everybody kind of what those results looked like? Because I think you got some really great news from your nationwide territory rep recently.
Oh, yes. I was completely blown away. When we first started with Kelly, it was our retention was at 88%, and we ended the year at 94.6, which was higher. Yeah. Woo! Which was higher than our state and the highest in our area. So we are just completely elated about it.
So that's pretty amazing. So I know when you and I first talked, it was actually probably about a year ago right now to
Yeah.
alignment. And I know that when we first talked, there was some concerns, right? Like, how are we ever going to do this? Is the staff going to have pushback? I don't know. We're so busy. What were some of those first initial concerns as we started talking that kind of popped into your head?
Well, cost was first, okay, because we've being an exclusive, we were very coddled, so we were incurring a lot of cost, and I had to sit back and say, you know what, we're going to do this because we're coming into a whole new world. And when I told my staff, they kind of were like, what? There's going to be changes. We've already gone through a lot of changes with Nationwide with Policy Center. And they were really kind of not too happy about it, very, very nervous. But you ask them today, and they're like, we are so glad that we did it. And the funny thing is, the way I approached it, it was more like I was investing in them. I
Hmm.
wanted them to be better at their job. And once I kind of kept repeating that and said, this is the money I'm putting into you, they were more acceptance of it. And of course, they fell in love with you and learned so much. Yes. And they have a little book sitting still to this day, still sitting on the side with what do you call it? The wording, the scripts.
Mhm.
So they use that every day and they refer back to it. So it's been worth every cent.
Good, good. Well, we appreciate that. I know a lot of feedback we get from agencies as they're sort of thinking about this journey is, the staff pushback, right? They're worried. I heard something, yesterday, like, if we do this, my staff's going to go on suicide watch. What
Oh,
kind
no.
of, no,
Quote, at first.
for like a day or two, they might have the bitter beer face about things, but how would you help an agency owner kind of get through that? The idea of like, it's your agency, right? Like at the end of the day, your name's on it. You've got to make payroll. Like it's great that they may not like it, but sometimes we have more wisdom about how things work than they might feel at their desk level, right?
Exactly. The thing is to be patient and listen. You have to listen to what you tell us. You've come in, you have evaluated our agency, you evaluated our employees, you're an outsider coming in and you have really no loyalties but to me, but you're going to be honest. Okay. We made some pretty drastic changes to the point I had one person in tears about it for a couple of weeks, but then again, she had a lot going on. But if you asked her today, which we just had a meeting last week, and I was kind of, alluding to going back to the way we were, just to kind of see the response I would get, and they were like, "No, it's perfect the way it is. Leave it alone."
Which means it's time to change it again. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no. But, and the hardest thing is, I work with family, my husband's in it, and Kelly was, you told me, said, you know what, you need to move your husband in the back. He's in this office all by himself. He needs to be with the team. He does not want to move back to his office.
Really? I
He
didn't know
loves it, loves it, loves it, loves it, because he feels a part of the team. He doesn't feel like he's, kind of in isolation. And actually, his whole demeanor has changed. And I'm always like, thank you, Kelly. But it was scary. I will say when you have that personal, to have to move him in the back.
that.
But yeah, at first it is very hard, but you got to be patient. You have to stay true to it and realize this is going to make an impact. No matter how painful it is, it will make a positive impact on your agency.
Good. So looking at the team, because when we first met, one of the things that kind of stuck out is you had a lot of people that were newer to insurance, like a year and a half, 2 years experience. And that was by design. Like you wanted fresh blood. You had kind of found a groove here and found the right people that would help serve the agency. And I was just chatting with you a little bit saying, like, I think one of the benefits I really saw from you guys is that when you first met the team, they were a little bit more timid, a little bit more price sensitive, like, oh, we have to make the customer happy. And by taking that 6 months we did the graduation, I really felt like the team was like, no, I can stop a reshop. No, I can get them to improve their coverage. Even if their rate went up 12%, 15%, I feel like I got this. It's not a big deal. I'm not worried every call I'm dreading when the phone rings. And I don't know if you felt that or if you saw that development through the program.
Oh, yes, I saw it at the graduation and even through the progress. Once we went through that day training, they were a little timid and like you said, but the confidence grew and they would be like high-fiving each other, hey, I increased coverage. We've increased a lot of coverage and it's amazing how much we have, even though if there's been a rate increase and the customers really appreciate it. And the customers that don't, those are probably the ones you don't want. Those are the ones you want to fire because they're costing you more money, because they're more about the price and not about the service. And it has also even created referrals for us.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things we do hear quite frequently is the B word, which I know your husband Michael likes to tease me about.
Yeah, busy.
Word, right? So
Yes.
that's a huge challenge I think a lot of agency owners get fearful of when thinking about doing it. Is like, hey, they're so busy, there's no way, like I can't see it. And I do know when we first started working with you guys that definitely was something that was going on, right? Like,
Oh, that was in our vocabulary in probably every other sentence.
and so, I'd love to hear, because it's one thing, like I say it, I'm like, hey, you make these renewal calls in the busy work, like it's amazing. It's 60 days, it goes away. And people are like, what are you talking about? But could you speak to it from your perspective and don't sugarcoat it. I know those 60 days are hard, but where were you 6 months ago and where are we now on the busy work?
Actually, we are not near as busy as we were. I used it. We're not, we have more time to spend on our customers. And the whole atmosphere of the office, which we already have we already have that family atmosphere here. It's even closer. And they have really pulled together as a team and helping each other through it. But it's just been amazing.
Good. And I know one of the like top secret byproducts of this program that I don't think we talk about enough is that change in morale from,
Yes.
oh, the phone's ringing, I'm so busy, to really figuring out those dynamics of how to work for a team. Like, hey, I got to finish my renewal calls. I'll help out. No problem. Go do your thing. How did you see that kind of work out where, before everyone was very isolated and, oh my gosh, everyone's so busy, I can't ask for help, to today where, like you had commented, that they're really working a little bit more like a team?
Well, having retention center through Easy Links, that's one way we really worked it, and you helped us through that. And honestly, you even helped us a lot with our transition with Easy Links. and it has been a great system with that retention center, and they're on top of it. We are not behind the game by no means. And if they see one account manager is overworked, they pull together as that team, or one of them will just sit there and do all the account reviews. And we do kind of change things a little bit to determine who we really want to focus on, what value, what is our true customer, and
Mhm.
who do we want to keep in our agency and who do we want to fire. So now that's our next level that we just introduced last week. And again, to you, because there are so many customers that we have that waste our time, and the ones that are our high customers, we don't spend enough time with them.
Mhm.
And so they have really taking the gate and really trying to account round. They have done very well on account rounding, doing additional policies with that customer. Our life sales, they were not into life sales until after this. They've already sold like 3 or 4 policies,
Wow.
each one of them, since then.
Good, good. Well, it sounds like there's all positives, but like, what were the struggling points when, like, because I feel like every agency goes to this where it's like,
Yes.
I don't know. I'm not seeing clearly where we're at right now. Be honest and transparent. Like, where were the points where it was like, ooh.
I would say it was the people that didn't take to change. It was so hard for them. There was some tears, there was some frustrations, and it's just being patient and let them vent, help them see what you're trying to do, and just encourage them to give it a chance.
Mhm.
It's just kind of like, if you don't give it a chance, you'll never know if it works. And it's just that, and you have to be their cheerleader. You have to go in there and check and see how things are going, and make use of you. If you're having problems, I know there was a couple of times I had some situations, and you helped me with them with some of my staff, because it's nice to have that third party in there that helps break it up a little bit, and helps them to realize where we need to be, and even myself. So I would say that was our biggest challenge, was people not wanting additional change.
No, I can see that. And I say it all the time. I think owning a business by yourself, it's very lonely at the top, right? Like no one understands what it's like making payroll and looking at all these different things and addressing staff issues there's just so many things you have to deal with that it feels like no one speaks your language sometimes, right?
Right.
And sometimes you need that gut check. Like, am I crazy? Am I crazy right now? Am I off the deep end? Am I right? Am I wrong? Like, what's the situation? And I think, having someone there to support you, but also too on the staff front, I like to say like one of my superpowers is believing that people can do it when they don't believe, right? Like
Right.
I knew your team could get to this point. I think that early on, they definitely couldn't. If you can't see it, you can't do it. But I've been through it so many times, I knew that they could. So just having that one person that knows if we stick with it, it's going to work, I think means a lot to everybody involved. And you did a great job of that, kind of cheerleading them on, saying, we can do this. But also on those dark days when they can't, you need to have that kind of counterbalance too.
Oh, exactly. And let me tell you, it was not all daisies and roses when it first started. And the reason why, it's you're trying to acclimate. You have a whole bunch like hitting you, so your first 6 months is going to be tough, because you're implementing something new, and you feel like you have to hit so much stuff, and you're trying to find that rhythm. In any time when you start a routine, it's difficult.
Yeah.
So you just have to, well, I wish I could be better about it on my diet versus this, but I was better on this. It's
Great.
just, but you just have to stay true and continue, even though it's tough. It's going to get easier the more you do it.
Yeah.
And you just can't give up, and you can't go back. Your staff is going to try to get you to go back to the way it was. They're going to try really, really hard. I mean, they're going to try to push every button to get you back to where you were, and they did. One of them particularly, And now, if I went back to change, she would shoot me because she loves the way it is. She's like, I'm more organized, you know. But it has its pain points. But once you get past maybe the fourth month, I would say it starts easing off, or even maybe sooner. But it depends on each person too.
Yeah. We usually like to say like the second month that you see improvement, but by the fourth month, it's like, I got this. Don't,
Yes.
you know,
Yes.
and you can have a little bit more fun with it. So I really appreciate you spreading the word and letting me pick your brain so that other agency owners understand how it works. I mean, any other thoughts or advice for anybody who might watch this video?
Do it. Don't miss out this opportunity on Kelly. She's got a plethora of knowledge that's going to make your agency grow and bring your team together. I can't say enough about Kelly. I love having her part of my agency, that I have done more with her. So I've also signed up for some additional of her programs because she's so successful in helping me be successful as well as my team.
Well, I appreciate you and appreciate your feedback, especially the other nationwide agencies going through this. So, you know, you will be spreading on, you will pay it forward in the world of insurance by this video.
Most definitely.
Well, thank you so much, Pam.
Thank you, Kelly.